Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are taking a fascinating shortcut into a massive cultural event, Christmas Day.
We are, and we're doing it by looking at a source you might not expect.
Right. We're dissecting an English conversation practice text.
Which sounds dry, but it's not.
Not at all. For you, our dedicated listener, this deep dive is really a masterclass in conversational utility. We aren't here for, the deep history or the theology. We are looking at the holiday purely through the lens of communication. The source material is basically a cultural cheat sheet.
It is. It's a document that has to extract the essential, undisputed, the universally recognized parts you need to talk about Christmas naturally in English.
So we're analyzing the consensus.
Exactly. When a teaching text like this one focuses on a holiday, it has to strip away all the regional variations, the personal habits.
Everything that makes it messy.
Right, to find the absolute common ground. And by studying the simple language they chose, we're basically identifying the foundational building blocks of the shared experience.
Yeah.
It's the agreed-upon conversational truth about Christmas.
I love that, the conversational truth. So our mission today is to analyze those core traditions, the specific vocabulary, and even the grammatical choices that this source gives you. It really is a fast track to cultural fluency.
It is.
So let's start with the absolute foundation, though, we assume you already know it.
Yeah.
The source clearly establishes that Christmas Day is on December 25th.
And while that seems obvious, its inclusion is crucial.
How so?
It's about grounding the conversation. It immediately establishes the context, the temporal boundary of the holiday. But right after that, the source defines the holiday with a sort of dual purpose.
Yes, and that dual purpose is so critical for providing the necessary conversational depth. The source notes that it celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ.
The spiritual root.
The spiritual root, but it equally defines it as a time when families and friends come together. So it recognizes the spiritual side alongside the huge social event it's become.
And that leads directly to, I think, the text's most concise and useful summary. It gives you these three conceptual pillars that really underpin the entire day.
If you get these three, you're set.
You can navigate pretty much any Christmas conversation.
And that core definition is Christmas is a time for family, food, and giving. That is a beautifully succinct piece of language, isn't it?
It is, because it explains the motivation behind everything else that follows. Family dictates the gathering. Food dictates the central communal event.
And giving is the ritual.
It's the central ritual, the exchange of gifts. It's
Yeah.
a powerful, tight structure.
I wonder, though, is that brevity family, food, giving, is there a risk it's too simplistic for such a huge global holiday? I mean, is that misleading you, or is it genuinely effective shorthand?
Oh, it's tremendously effective shorthand. Remember, the goal of this text isn't historical accuracy, it's conversational safety.
Conversational safety.
Okay,
Awesome.
and clarity. The simplicity prevents that typical information overload you get when trying to describe a complex holiday. You can think of these three words as the index for the day's activities. Anything you talk about, the gifts, the dinner, the travel, it all falls under one of those headers. It's a strong anchor point for you.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So if we accept those three anchors, let's move from the abstract definition to the concrete actions. And this is where the source provides a fantastic linguistic insight tying grammar directly to cultural habit. Our source explicitly tells us that when you're discussing traditions, the ones that happen every single year, you use the present simple tense.
And this is the real aha moment that sticks with you.
It really is. It connects the grammar directly to the idea of a recurring ritual.
Exactly. When you talk about your coffee routine, you say, I drink coffee every morning. You don't say, I am drinking coffee unless it's happening right now. The present simple signifies this is a habitual cultural truth.
So the source then lists the three key habitual actions, making sure you understand which activities really define the culture of the day. Number one, we decorate a Christmas tree.
And that ritual, it immediately falls into the family category you mentioned. It's the symbolic act of preparation that signals the start of the season.
And it involves everyone.
It involves collective effort, yes.
Okay, number two, We exchange gifts in the morning. This covers the giving aspect and importantly places a specific time constraint on it.
Morning is for gifts.
Morning is for gifts. And number 3, we have a big family dinner, which is the core of the food and family combination.
And notice how those are phrased as, universally true actions. We decorate, we exchange. That choice of pronoun reinforces the significance.
Right. These aren't just suggestions.
No, they're not optional elements. They're the defined actions that comprise the holiday for the purpose of this conversation.
And tying those 3 actions together is the general social setting, which is noted in the text. In my country, people usually celebrate Christmas with family. It's a necessary contextual statement.
Absolutely. The present simple tense gives you the scaffolding for describing shared culture. It shows that Christmas isn't just a set of events, but a set of repeating expected behaviors. If you want to talk about how things are on the day, that tense is your conversational key.
So if the present simple shows us the rules of the day, then the next section shows us the reward, the culinary centerpiece.
The food.
Let's transition to food, which the source rightly emphasizes is a massive foundational pillar of the whole experience. The conversation guide provides the structure for discussing the meal, stating plainly, we eat a traditional Christmas meal.
But here's where that simplification we talked about becomes really analytical. The text then specifies the exact components, simplifying the whole meal down to just 3 key elements.
Which are roast turkey, potatoes, and dessert.
Just those 3.
Now, that feels incredibly reductive. Roast turkey and potatoes are definitely staples in a lot of English-speaking traditions, but what about the gravy, the stuffing, the mince pies? Doesn't this minimalist kind of miss the cultural richness of the Christmas meal?
It misses the richness, perhaps, but it hits the recognizable core. The source's intention isn't to give you a recipe.
Right, it's not a cookbook.
It's to give you a minimum conversational vocabulary. If you mention those 3 items, turkey, potatoes, dessert, you are instantly understood. You're acknowledged as being familiar with the custom. They're conversational shorthand for the feast. Everything else is just regional variation.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's the minimum viable product for a Christmas dinner conversation. And the source also highlights the emotional weight of this meal, using a very common expression. Christmas dinner is the best meal of the year.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, that phrase has almost nothing to do with the quality that the cooking itself, does it? It captures the emotional significance of the gathering, that rare time when everyone is present, distraction-free, sharing this abundance. It's about the memory and the fellowship, which is why it's such a common conversational trope.
It signifies the scale of the gathering, not the taste of the roast.
Precisely.
And crucially, the source gives you a ready-to-use structure for expressing your own preferences, which shifts the conversation from general facts to personal experience.
My favorite Christmas food is?
That's a practical and necessary tool. It allows you, the listener, to move past just listing facts and into sharing your own experience within that established cultural framework.
Which is the definition of a natural conversation.
It is. You can substitute the turkey for ham or the potatoes for yams, but you use that recognized template to introduce your specific variation.
Okay, so moving beyond the centerpiece of the dinner, what other activities fill the day? The source implies a kind of timeline, showing the day is packed, moving from that morning excitement to afternoon fulfillment and then evening relaxation.
Yeah, it gives the day a structure. It does. The source lists 4 standard activities. So the morning is taken care of with. We open presents in the morning.
Done. And then the other activities define that relaxed communal atmosphere of the afternoon and evening. We watch Christmas movies and we listen to Christmas music.
This really captures the mood, doesn't it? The intentional slowing down and the shared entertainment.
It does.
And it is important that the text is inclusive enough to cover the religious dimension, noting some people go to church.
And that's a key detail.
Yeah.
It ensures the conversational map acknowledges that specific traditional activity, even if it's not universally practiced anymore.
It shows the thoughtfulness of the guide. It's accounted for both the totally secular Hallmark-style traditions and the foundational religious observance.
For sure. For anyone wanting to sound natural, knowing that these diverse activities coexist is crucial.
Furthermore, the source gives us the necessary linguistic distinction for discussing the day in context. It gives you tools for differentiating between talking about your routine and your specific future plans.
Yes, this is so useful.
For routine, for the habitual actions, it provides the template. On Christmas Day, usually.
Right.
But if you want to talk about specific plans for this year, the grammar changes to a future construction. This Christmas, I'm going to.
So this raises an important question. Why is that distinction so important?
Well, it's about clarity, isn't it?
It's conversational precision, saying, I usually go to my grandmother's, tell someone about your family culture. Saying, this year I'm going to travel instead, tells them about a unique choice you're making. The grammatical shift is a practical tool for clarity, letting you quickly communicate if you're sticking to the habit or breaking it.
Right. Let's summarize the ultimate takeaways for you then. The ready-to-use expressions. These are the conversational lifelines. The phrase is stated explicitly to be very common in English-speaking countries.
The essentials.
The absolute essentials. We start with the greetings, which are conversational shorthand. First, the standard greeting, which acknowledges the holiday specifically. Merry Christmas.
And the second, the broader, more inclusive greeting, which covers the whole season. Happy holidays.
Both are just useful, efficient ways to transmit goodwill and seasonal recognition.
They're transmitters of cultural politeness. Very efficient.
Then we have ways to express hope and good wishes for someone else. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. This is just warm and expansive. And finally, the essential question template. This is the tool to start a conversation and gather all the information, pulling together everything we've discussed. What are you doing for Christmas?
And that simple question, it synthesizes the entire deep dive. To answer it, you have to reference the date, mention the family, food, and giving pillars, and use the correct grammatical structure, whether you're describing your annual tradition, usually, or a specific current plan.
Okay, too.
And to make it totally practical, the source even provides a quick conversation example, showing exactly how all these elements interact in real time.
A little mini script.
Exactly. So person A starts by asking about routine. What do you usually do on Christmas Day? And person B replies, using the right grammar and mentioning the Staples family and presents. I usually spend time with my family and open presents. How about you? See? They're sticking to the established pattern.
And then person A replies, referencing the other course, Staples, dinner, and entertainment. We have a big dinner and watch movies together.
That short exchange is the ultimate practical takeaway. It proves how effortlessly the key components, family, gifts, food, activities, they all just slot together into a simple, natural exchange.
It works because both speakers are drawing from the same finite vocabulary and cultural map that our source provides.
It gives you a template for sounding genuinely conversational. The final practice question in the text, how do you celebrate Christmas Day, is the synthesis point. It requires you to deploy every single concept we've analyzed today.
So what does this all mean? We started by looking at Christmas Day not as some complex historical event, but as a defined set of conversational rules and vocabulary.
Yeah, a communication problem to be solved.
Exactly. We anchored ourselves firmly in those themes of family, food, and giving, and we equipped ourselves with the necessary linguistic tools like let the present simple for traditions and I'm going to for current plans.
We learned that this conversation guide, really by necessity, has to focus on universality and ritual. Every single item we discussed, from the turkey to the phrase Merry Christmas, it's there because it represents a collective repeating action.
It's what everyone knows and what everyone expects.
That's it.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the conversational structure of a classic holiday.
And here's a final thought for you to mull over. If our source material defines the success of the holiday conversationally, by how well we stick to these shared traditions and linguistic templates, what does that tell us about the immense power of collective expectation? Does the expectation of the roast turkey and the gift exchange actually shape the reality of the day more profoundly than any individual choice? It's something to think about the next time you hear one of those common, simple phrases. They are carrying the weight of cultural consensus.